The absolute fastest way to command respect in any room isn't to speak louder. It isn't to meticulously explain your boundaries or outline your feelings. It is to completely withdraw your presence. Elite operators understand that the moment you make your attention scarce, your perceived value skyrockets instantly. But if you keep acting like an open door, constantly available to justify every decision you make, you are actively destroying your own status. Listen carefully. The unspoken rules of power are shifting rapidly. The window to build your psychological armor is closing. What I am about to reveal is a highly guarded breakdown of how covert predators use your desperate need to be understood to map out your insecurities and keep you trapped at the bottom. If you click away right now, you guarantee that your power and status will remain drained by toxic people who view your explanations as free labor. Every day you operate with this blind spot, you bleed leverage. But if you stay until the end, I will hand you the exact blueprint to destroy your people-pleasing habits and command instant respect through the asymmetry of silence. Let's get one thing straight. Nobody respects a willing victim. You were programmed to believe that over-explaining yourself is a sign of respect. You were taught that giving enough reasons makes people treat you fairly. That is the most destructive lie of human behavior. The brutal reality of social hierarchies is that powerful people never explain their choices, because explaining is an act of submission. Every time you shrink your boundaries to construct a logical defense for someone who just disrespected you, you negotiate away your power. You broadcast that your temporary discomfort is more important than permanent respect. In dark psychology, that is an open invitation for relentless exploitation. Your constant need to justify your actions is your fatal flaw because it makes your reactions predictable. You become the submissive explainer, the safety net remembered only when everything else falls apart. Predictability is social death. The predator's interrogation. Let's look at how elite predators operate in the shadows. Covert manipulators do not come at you with a weapon drawn. They come with a smoke screen of fake curiosity. Human manipulators reflect your deepest desires to be understood. They identify your pathetic need to fix broken situations, and they feed it just enough to get you addicted to their cyclical drama. When you make a decision that goes against their interests, they ask you why. But they are not asking to understand your perspective. They are asking so you hand them the exact ammunition they need to dismantle your boundary. The darkest trick is the illusion of the required defense. When a toxic person realizes they are losing control over you, when they see the cold logic in your eyes and know you are about to walk away, they bypass your logic entirely. They question your motives. They demand an explanation. Suddenly, the focus is no longer on the horrible thing they did to you. It is entirely on your reasons for leaving. Because your ego is wired to feel valuable when communicating effectively, your mind registers this demand as an opportunity to finally be heard. You drop your guard. You start explaining yourself. You are trapped in a cage of your own making, built by your fear of looking like the bad guy. The darkest secret of toxic relationships is that the predator doesn't ever need to chain you to the wall. They offer a fake illusion of a conversation, and your own desperation builds the iron bars of your mental cage. When you explain your choices, you implicitly tell the other person they have the authority to approve or reject your decision. You hand them the judge's gavel. They know you will always explain yourself, which is exactly why they never truly respect you. The contrast of attention. A ruthless strategy these operators use against agreeable people is the contrast principle of devalued attention. Human beings judge the worth of something based on how difficult it is to obtain. Manipulators understand this flawlessly. If a rare, exclusive person gives them 5 minutes of attention, they treat it like gold. But if you are always waiting, always writing long paragraphs to explain your feelings, your words become psychologically worthless. They dismiss your feelings. They twist your explanations. They use your own words against you to make you feel guilty for setting a boundary in the first place. This is the dark architecture of the conversational trap. It is designed specifically to keep you on a psychological leash. You start softening your tone. You tell them you didn't mean to sound harsh. You forgive their disrespect without them taking real accountability, simply because the sight of their tiny, breadcrumbed approval looks overwhelming in comparison to the conflict you fear. You need to see this tactic for exactly what it is: pure, calculated exploitation. When you recognize that their sudden demand for an explanation is a setup designed to manipulate your fairness, you owe them absolutely nothing. A trick does not deserve your communication. They also use the illusion of uninvited debts. It is a primitive rule of human interaction. If someone gives you something, you must give something back. Covert manipulators exploit this by giving you a fake vulnerability. They confess a fake secret, offering it to you as a gift of trust. Your ego is starved for deep connection, so your mind registers this as a massive debt of intimacy. Suddenly, you feel a deep obligation to repay them by explaining every single one of your life choices. You are paying back a debt that was completely fabricated to keep you submissive. The need for validation, your constant need to be understood, is turning you into a disposable asset. Society teaches us that we must always be reasonable and communicative. But when applied indiscriminately, this instinct becomes a deadly virus. You start believing that if you do not sacrifice your peace to explain yourself to a toxic person, you are fundamentally worthless. To hold true power, you must completely detach your self-worth from your ability to make other people understand you. Every time you back down because someone questions your decisions, you are writing the instruction manual on how to destroy you. Covert manipulators use your endless explanations as a dark radar to test your emotional armor. In the wild, predators test the perimeter of the herd by making small movements to see which animal flinches. Toxic people do the exact same thing. They question a minor choice you made out of thin air just to see how much energy you are willing to drop to defend yourself. If you rush in, completely abandoning your peace to construct a logical defense, you fail the test. You have signaled to their radar that your boundaries are made of paper. Many are trapped in relationships or jobs where promised respect was stripped away the moment you committed. They gave you a false sense of potential to secure loyalty, and now you stay because your mind built a fake support system. You tell yourself they're just having a hard time understanding you. This is a pathetic lack of a spine disguised as noble patience. You are lying to yourself. The moment you realize your desire to be understood forces you to stay in an exploitative environment, you must cut the cord. The art of strategic silence. So how do the top 1% of operators detach from this trap? How do they stop being the submissive explainer, stay cold, and command respect without seeking validation? They kill the need to be understood. In the marketplace of human interaction, your attention and words are your most valuable assets. If you give them away to anyone who demands an explanation, your value plummets. People only respect what is difficult to obtain. When you make your emotional support, your time, and your explanations incredibly scarce, their perceived value skyrockets instantly. The individuals who command the highest status do not give their words freely. They guard their focus as if their life depends on it, because socially it does. If you want people to value you, you must become intimately comfortable with the art of strategic silence. This is not about hiding in your room or becoming a heartless monster. It is about removing your emotional availability from anyone who has not earned the right to have it. Right now, your words are dangerously cheap. You give them to anyone who questions you, anyone who claims they are confused. To break the curse of people-pleasing, you have to treat your silence like high-grade currency. People are motivated more by the thought of losing something than by gaining something of equal value. When a toxic friend tries to rope you into their endless drama by demanding an explanation, you withdraw. You don't argue, you don't debate, you don't write a long paragraph. You simply become unavailable. Weak people are terrified of social friction. They tolerate disrespect to avoid silence. Elite operators embrace friction to test the hierarchy and see who holds the power. When you stop being the submissive explainer, you introduce heavy friction into your relationships. People who used your explanations to walk all over you will be outraged. They will call you selfish, cold, and arrogant. Good. That is the sound of the emotional parasite starving. Let friction burn away every one-sided connection. The people who belong in your reality will respect the new boundary, reclaiming absolute control. When someone disrespects you and demands to know why you are pulling away, your reflex is to soften your stance. You bleed massive amounts of energy trying to control their emotional state. The truly powerful do the opposite. When tested with fake curiosity, they deploy the asymmetry of silence. They speak less than necessary to maintain superiority. Silence is the most terrifying weapon in dark psychology because it provides zero information. It creates an uncomfortable void, and human beings are psychologically terrified of voids. When you don't react to their questions, you force the manipulator to sit in their own awkward performance. You deny them the emotional supply they hunt for. Think about it. When someone crosses your line and you immediately offer a long explanation for leaving, you have entered their game. You are playing by their rules. You have given them proof they control your emotions. But when you respond with cold, unbroken eye contact and absolute silence, or simply do not reply, the game stops. The power shifts entirely to you. They throw a theatrical performance, and you don't even blink. By not caring enough to validate their fake confusion, you instantly project the aura of someone fundamentally above the manipulation. You communicate without uttering a syllable, but their display is so transparent it doesn't warrant the energy of your vocal cords. This destroys a covert manipulator instantly. This is the ultimate psychological transformation. Stop being the designated explainer in everyone else's movie. Start acting as the ruthless director of your own reality. If someone creates a mess and demands an explanation, that is their psychological burden, not yours. Build an impenetrable armor of self-reliance. Respect your boundaries before their fake confusion. The greatest operators do not waste a single heartbeat trying to make a manipulator understand. Being called cold by a parasite is a massive badge of honor. It proves your armor is working perfectly. You have a critical choice to make. You can close this video and continue to be the exhausted explainer, or you can decide today to kill the need to be understood. If this painful truth hit you where it needed to, drop the words "absolute control" in the comments right now. Draw a permanent line in the sand today. Take back your power. Hit the subscribe button to master the dark psychology tactics the elite use to dominate. Stay cold, stay silent, and never apologize for your power.